A different man. That's right, folks. I didn't go see Joker. Yeah, instead I went to see this, A Different Man, which is kind of dealing with some similar stuff. The idea of society treating you differently for how you exist in it, kind of. I didn't want to see Joker. A Different Man was playing. This came out of a lot of festivals with a lot of buzz around it. People saying it's the best of Sebastian Stan's career. People saying Adam Pearson could be getting Oscar nominations. And I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. I gotta see that. And I always knew I wanted to. This was one that was on my radar for a while, and when it finally came out, I had to go. And I'll say this, it is a very delightful film. I had an incredible time watching it. It was so unique an experience and type of film that I think it's going to find its audience and become something that people go back and rewatch. It is kind of this meta story about how do you tell this story, which is always an interesting area to play. This stars Sebastian Stan. He plays a man named Edward. And essentially what happens is he opens up this film wearing the prosthetics of a man with a bunch of facial tumors that have grown on his face. It is bulged out. He is not conventionally attractive. He's neurotic. He is nervous. Someone compares him to a Woody Allen character. And through meeting with a doctor and being given the chance to take this special pill, the facial swelling will deteriorate and he can become a normal guy. So he goes from looking, not what you'd say is conventionally attractive to looking like Sebastian Stan. And how does that affect him when he's trying to be an actor? When he's an actor, he's getting specific parts, doing commercials or just informational videos about people with deformities in the workplace, going up for roles where you're playing the monster who wants to find love but isn't capable of it, things that he's familiar with in his own life. And then when he becomes looking like Sebastian Stan, is he gonna find work in other ways or is he gonna do other stuff? It's a very interesting premise that really works, and the way it handles the subject is exactly how you'd want it to handle this subject, which is you have to acknowledge it. There is so much going on here that is about people being uncomfortable and unaware of this situation that this guy is going through. Some people don't know how to respond properly. Some people think they're doing the right thing by not doing certain things. And other people just accept it. It goes through every single thing it has to, but it's also very fun about it. There is so much about this that is just very enjoyable, and watching some really good acting, which is incredible to see. Sebastian Stan at the top of his game, I think, in both aspects of this movie. It's playing to his strengths well. He seems like kind of a neurotic guy, so when he is nervous at the beginning, hiding under the prosthetics that he is wearing, it presents really well. This is him showing you his physicality as an actor, which is there, and it's not something he gets a lot of time to do in other performances. It's more about him going loud, and he gets loud in this movie, but just seeing him nervous and kind of shoulders hunched over, unable to make eye contact with a woman, it's very interesting. And then when he gets to the next evolution where he becomes a different man to being Sebastian Stan, there's a confidence, there is an arrogance, there is an ego, and it just goes into a man destroying his own life, which is so fun to see. Some aspects of this remind me a lot of Cate Blanchett in Tar, where you're this is somebody who thinks they deserve the world and they don't have it anymore, and it's so interesting to see that. And the way it plays out with going from somebody with the disfigurement to beauty, and suddenly you have to get a sense of your own perspective, that maybe it's less about how you are exterior wise and it's more interior, the way you present yourself inside affects you more than what you're presenting to the world. Because we then, as the story progresses, meet Oswald, played by Adam Pearson. He just seems like a delight, one of those guys who you could probably just hang out with and have an incredible time. He's really interesting to listen to off camera. He's doing interviews and stuff, and he just walks into this movie, he literally just walks in and goes, "Oh hey, you're doing a thing that's kind of about me? That's pretty freaking sick. I'd like to just see what's going on here." And then he just shows up and stays and doesn't go, and changes the entire dynamic. He is essentially everything that Edward wanted to be, this guy who is confident and strong and gets girls and is just very charismatic while looking the way he does, and that's something Edward can never have. So when they start to intertwine in each other's lives, it gets very messy and complicated, and then just goes really hard on just like the subversive, dark humor of it all. It's a very dark comedy just about what does it mean to be attractive, what does it mean to be loved, what does it mean to be an actor, and just then we'll just hold on shots for a long time of people figuring out who they are, and then just when you think the movie's going to end, we like do a denouement, a denouement, a denouement. It just continues and continues and continues and continues and spirals into some really interesting places where you're like, we did not need to go this far. There are so many like natural endpoints, but the fact that you kept adding on to the joke really makes it funny, really delivers something so unique and special. Oh, it's so interesting. And I just like the idea of just having Sebastian Stan and Adam Pearson stand on like a stage, because it's about like putting on a play about this guy that our female character Ingrid knew, and you just have these two people who had the same disfigurement. One of them no longer has it. Just argument like you want them to make fun of you, call you a monster, or look hideous for this way. And then if I'm like the reward for putting up with like the love that you get, that's not really like honest. Like, Sebastian Stan is beautiful, but that shouldn't need to be the case. He shouldn't have to look like Sebastian Stan to find love, is essentially what this movie is saying. And what Oswald is saying is like, no, it's true, I agree. And I don't. Like, I find love without having to look like Sebastian Stan. And that pisses off Edward, because he's like, well, how come I couldn't find love when I was looking like Oswald? It's a really good balance of just, these are two guys who are just in the same situation, going about their lives differently, handling things in a different way. Look how broken you become with like the price of beauty and your own vanity taking over your life. Truly insane, and so much, it's just so entertaining. Seeing these guys play off each other, seeing this world escalate, the meta commentary of the whole piece, it is so compelling and so interesting. It has great prosthetics, great makeup. It looks awesome. Like, the actual prosthetics that they put on Stan, it's impressive, and it should win some awards. And I love the continuous shots. Oh my goodness, do these shots hold for a long time? It looks really good. And it can be very stiff when we're doing quiet stuff, but when it gets loud and aggressive, it can get loud and aggressive. And so many just like tracking shots of following someone like from behind and seeing what they're seeing. POV stuff. Ooh, it looks good. A very impressive film that just made me happy. I'm like, this is so interesting and entertaining. What we're doing here is unique, and it is special, and we're probably not going to see anything in the likes of it for a while. You know, like, this is going to do a lot for like awareness of people with like facial disfigurements or exterior disfigurements on their body or on their person, and that's hopefully going to encourage people to treat people with disfigurements a little better and show you like they are very capable of literally just wearing a cool Hawaiian shirt, getting on stage, doing some karaoke, and having the world think they're awesome, because they are. It's pretty cool. This movie's really interesting. If you have a chance to see it in cinemas, it is worth it. So, A Different Man, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.